Okay, today is the day as well. Mississauga voters will head to the polls to elect a new mayor.
And CB24's Courtney Heels is live for us in Mississauga with more on the race. Voting day is underway. The polls, though, not open just yet, Courtney.
That's right. 10 o'clock is when residents here in Mississauga can head to the polls to cast their ballot. I can tell you guys, I'm in touch with a couple of the candidates and their campaign offices. Many of them already busy this morning talking to some of their supporters. And of course, they'll be a little bit anxious later on as those results start to trickle in. The polls will be closing at 8 o'clock tonight. So if you're watching and if you are planning to cast your ballot in the by-election for mayor, along with if you're in Ward 5, your councillor for that region, those polls again open from 10 until 8 o'clock. It looks as though this is going to be a pretty tight race, too, especially when you take a look at some of the recent polling that came out as recently as last week. We'll take a look at the poll that came out late on Friday, suggesting Carolyn Parrish is still in the lead with about 17% of the vote. She's a point ahead of Deepika Demirla, 2 points ahead of Alvin Tejo, and Stephen Dasco at 12%, Brian Crombie at 2%. Now, speaking of Carolyn Parrish, I'm in touch with her campaign office. She is planning to cast her ballot in this mayoral race a little bit later on at 11 o'clock this morning. Demirla is going to be out with some of her supporters, talking to residents again ahead of the big vote later on today. And Tejo's office confirms that he will be with his wife later on this morning as she is planning to cast her ballot. So they will be busy. There's no question this is going to be a busy day. And when it comes to some of the big topics here and some of the concerns that are top of mind for residents, we know affordability is a major one. People saying time and time again, things are so expensive, they have concerns. In some cases, people leaving the city of Mississauga because they say they can't afford it. And on that, affordability when it comes to housing, also a really big issue that this next mayor is going to have to tackle and perhaps look at different ways to approach that because it's affecting a lot of people. In terms of our coverage for later on today, guys, we do know that we are going to have a chance to speak with some of the candidates, so we'll work to get that. And again, the polls closing at 8 o'clock. We'll likely have some results later on. It's hard to say how quickly we'll actually have the answer for who is going to be the next mayor of Mississauga, though, because, Jennifer, at this point, it looks as though it is going to be very, very close tonight. Over to you.
Okay, we'll have to find out, but definitely a really big day in Mississauga. Thanks so much, Courtney.